Salutations, people of the internet. SolidAtom here, playing Farming Simulator today. As I left off last time, I had planted seed in the other two fields, 14 and 12, and I had just started cultivating the field we are on right now, field 15, before I left you all for months. So I'm back today, planting this field, finally, also with grass. And the reason I'm planting all of these fields with grass is so that I can make mowing, I can mow the grass, windrow, which is basically like raking it all up into a nice, pretty row, and then baling it up, wrapping those bales, because if you wrap a grass bale, it turns into a silage bale, and silage bales sell for nearly $3,000 a piece. So I'm hoping to make a lot of money off of just these 3 starter fields. And then I'm going to use that money to buy the fields next to our farm, field 19, 24, 23. And then, once I've made some more money doing stuff like that, eventually expand out using the money from collecting all of the golden nuggets to buy fields 5, 9, and 13. So, we're started now, and while this guy is going, I am going to do more of the contracting jobs in these smaller fields to get the reputation up. I think now is as good a time as any to talk about how seeding actually works. I might need to set up the tractor to be doing the turning itself, because it's a pretty small field and I kind of want to explain a lot in the process of turning those rows. So we'll set it going back down the other way. Here we go. Alright, so this hopper at the top is full of the seed, and then these pipes that you can see leading down all go to these little arms. And so what the arms do is they kind of dig a little row in the existing soil, and as they're going along, they're basically counting the distance since the last time it dropped a seed. So you can imagine a wheel, or I guess a gear, but there's only one set of teeth on that gear. So most of it is a smooth wheel, except for a little notch in it for a seed, so that as that wheel rotates, it's only dropping a seed once it can. So it'll grab a seed, travel a little distance, deposit it in the ground, rotate back up to the pipe, grab another seed, and then put the next one in the ground. And of course there's a whole bunch of rows of that, because through the miracles of modern farming and research and development, crops continue to be able to be grown closer and closer together without the need for more space. And so you can see those rows are incredibly close together. And gonna plant barley. In real life, a tractor of this age, as you can see, does not have any kind of screen or computer in it, which means that it would not actually be able to use a GPS. Of course, the limitations of the game, every vehicle has GPS when you get the GPS mod. But when before they had GPS, they had these little discs you can see on the side of the planter. If I turn off the GPS and hit Z, is it Z? Hold on. What do we collect? Oh, I need to unfold the sower. You can see those two little, they almost look like feet came up. And so then if you hit Z, the, what are they called? ridge markers come out, and you can see that it's leaving a little mark in the ground. And so what you can do is, when you're driving in real life, you know, it's pretty difficult to tell how close you are to the edge of where you need to be to make sure that you're not missing any spots. And so what you can do is, once you've finished a row, you can lift up your machine and switch the ridge marker over to the other side. And I'm just gonna turn around here. The ridge marker shows you exactly where you're supposed to put the middle of your tractor so that you don't miss any spots. So see, if I line up that little black dot on the front, on the hood of my tractor, and then I zoom out, you can see I'm perfectly lined up to be making these rows. This is also a good tip for you console players who do not have access to these scripted mods. So there's two types of mods, scripted and, I guess, vehicle. And what that means is a vehicle mod is anything like a trailer or a tractor or an implement that is I guess you could call it a character in the game. But scripted mods are things that change the way the game works fundamentally. So that's things like, oh, if you hit a certain set of keys, you get money, or if you hit a certain set of keys, you get, you know, a scripting tool. There are also trailers that will magically pick up bales off the ground and place them on the trailer for you. All of those mods involve scripts that are, I guess, illegal for consoles, or they're just so power intensive that it makes it difficult for consoles to use them. And so that's why I play on PC, so that I can have access to all those fancy script mods. Alright, there we go. Thanks so much. We got the reward, and then about a third of the money back again for doing it so quickly. I wonder if he has... Oh, he has another job available right away. Before we do that, I'm gonna check in on the worker. Okay, so he's finished up, or she. I didn't see who it was before. Now that all of those fields are planted, and because this seeder uses fertilizer, you can see there's the brown seed and the white fertilizer. Basically, the seeder just drops in a pellet of fertilizer along with every seed. So that means that the current stage of growth that this grass is on right now is fully fertilized, which means that we'll need to let the crops grow before we can add more fertilizer. So I'm going to park this tractor up, and I'm going to look at the settings here. Let's see. Statistics, general settings, game settings. So we have plant growth on fast. All of that seems to be set up, so we can just go ahead and press 8 to speed up the timescale of the game. And now you can see it's the hour's 14, but the minutes are flying by. And a funny thing about this game, crops, you can basically plant on one day and then harvest the next. The seasons and the concept of a year are completely irrelevant. So, wow, getting a weird frame rate problem. Oh, there, it went away. So, while we wait for that to grow, I'm trying to think of what else we can do. Oh, we can look at the chickens. I'm trying to remember if I actually gathered the gold nugget from the chickens of 4, which I think is supposed to be the first gold nugget you're supposed to collect. There's a few eggs around. Yes, okay, I did grab that gold nugget, and I just thought of something to do. We can go look for more of them while we wait for the crops to grow. So, oh, and by the way, someone was asking about how I can just teleport between the vehicles. That's just a game feature, obviously. You can't do that in real life. And I'm just hitting tab to do that. But a little bit more about the silage bales. The reason I'm planting silage is because it makes that $3,000 per bale, and you get about 10 to 15 bales per field. That is the most cost-effective use of your land. So you'll get the most money per unit of land using that method. So I believe I'm heading, yeah, to the bottom right corner of the map. What I want to be doing is doing this kind of map tour part of the videos, reading the map like a book. So I'm going to go to the upper left-hand corner and then pan across to the right, and then just kind of work along in rows. So I'll meet you once I'm up at right agribusiness in the upper left-hand corner. So we're almost at right agribusiness now, and this is one of my favorite roads in the whole map, is this nice little curvy kind of mountain road. That's one thing they've done a lot to improve on compared to the previous games. There's a lot of verticality in the map, so certain areas are a lot taller than others. So we have this little sister companion to one of the largest fields on the map, which is Field 1. It's kind of unfortunate how dark it is right now, but I thought I'd just head over here and see if there... I actually can't remember if there's any gold nuggets this far up. There's probably one in the woods. But here is actually a place where you can... I think you can buy... I can't remember if this is where you sell or you buy the slurry, which is basically animal manure, like liquid, like diarrhea. It's kind of gross. But there's this nice little farmhouse up here, and one of the great features of the game is there are all these interactable objects. Now, if I could get the truck in here, I could actually knock that over, and I can, you know... Oh, that's too heavy. That makes sense. Let's see if there's anything small enough to pick up. Just invading this guy's backyard. Like, see, there's like a weed whacker. It's kind of fun. You can move all this stuff around. But when you reload the game, all of the stuff goes back to its normal place. So if I were to take the lawnmower back to my farm, or not the lawnmower, the weed whacker back to my farm, I would see... oh yeah, you can hit F to open up your flashlight. And I don't know if I've mentioned this, but you can hit F1 to toggle the controls. So some of the controls are pretty straightforward because they'll tell you in the F1 screen, but some of them are like hidden. So I'll try to make more note of the hidden ones and let you figure out the self-explanatory ones on your own. But there's one kind of funny thing about this. Oh no, that's in the bottom right hand corner. There's one area of the map that has a woodlands, but those woodlands are don't have any access via a road. So up here there's a nice little gazebo and a fire watch tower. There's also an outhouse. That's cute. This map has a lot of charm to it. There's even the toilet in there. If I remember, there should be a gold nugget somewhere. Once you collect 10 of the gold nuggets, then all of the remaining gold nuggets are revealed to you with little golden circles on the map. So, once I find the first few, there we go, I should be able to get the rest a lot more easily. So let's see here. Oh, there's one. Yeah. Right up here in the Firewatch Tower. I think that's part of why they implemented the golden nuggets, was to get people to look at the parts of the map that aren't directly related to their farm. Oh, what's that? Aha! There's an arcade machine! And it's still somehow turned on. That's hilarious. Little Easter egg. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. Huh. And they're like, there's little... Oh, another golden nugget. Wow. See, there's all these little details in the map that are so endearing and make the game have that much more charm. I mean, it's not just about farming. There's also a lot of, I don't know, culture, maybe a word for that, involved. But that's part of why I'm making this little skit. Ooh, okay. Hey, we're back on our wheels. Yeah, I think that demonstrates a good point of the game physics. You saw how I was on my side. Normally, I'd be stuck that way. But because the vehicles in the game tend to be, like, unrealistically bottom heavy, they always right themselves if they're sideways. But if you do end up flipping one on your roof, you are going to have to reset the vehicle back to the store. So let's head back to the farm now that it's daylight and see how our grass is doing. I'm gonna hit 7 to reduce the time scale back down to a real time. I am driving way too fast for this road, but that's fine. One last turn. Not that one. That's the way up to the pigs, but here. Oh boy. Oh. Steering with a keyboard is not easy. I'm gonna get a steering wheel at some point. Ah, you can see the grass is starting to come in, which also means that we need to fertilize it. So let's go ahead and park up the truck and break out the fertilizer spreader, if I have one. I don't think I do. Oh, okay. Might as well buy one. Let's see. Spreaders. Fertilizer spreaders. Ooh, should we use the Kuhn one? 28,000, 24,000. It is cheaper. 24 meters, 24 meters. Yeah, I'd say let's go for this. Slightly smaller tank, but a good spread still. And, which of the tractors do we want to use? Probably doesn't matter. If you go into the map, let's say that my pickup truck had toppled over, or in this case, the tractor I'm going to use, you can just hit this reset button, and boom, the tractor vanished. That's because it is now... Nope, wrong one. It's now at the store. And so, resetting the vehicles is free, but be warned, if you have stuff in the vehicles, like grain or fertilizer, that stuff will disappear. At least that was the way in the version most recent, like before the update, because I noticed that I was playing this game by myself the other day, and I had a trailer full of cows, and I had driven the cows into a river. The cows were fine because they're just objects, not animals in this game. But I reset the trailer, and all the cows were still in the trailer, which is nice because it saves a lot of money. Sorry about that interruption. Someone was at the door. What I was saying was, I don't know if the newest update has made it so that when you reset vehicles, they maintain their inventory. But now that we have this fertilizer spreader, I will meet you back at the farm. Let's get this puppy loaded up with some fertilizer. Normally, you would want to use a forklift to pick up the pallets and dump them into the fertilizer spreader, but you can just fill it up with the pallets still on the ground. But you can see just barely that pallet in back has that white stream coming out of it. That's the fertilizer. Oh, no, the one in front, huh? Can't really see it. But they have a spout on the bottom to let the fertilizer out, and what filling them on the ground is basically you would get out by hand and take a shovel and shovel the fertilizer in. So, obviously in a video game, shoveling stuff by hand would be rather tedious, so they just made it so that you can load them up if you're close enough. So now, I'm gonna get close enough here and start spreading the fertilizer. I'm gonna set up the GPS so that I don't mess it up. Alright, there we go. Make sure this is all set up correctly. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, right. So, now, normally, you would want to use the narrow wheels to, that is, if you're running the crop destruction mod. In the default game, you can drive over and through and all around your crops and it does nothing to them. But one mod that I like to use for added realism is running over your crops kills them. Now, with grass, it works a little bit differently. It takes the grass and instead of putting it to its mowed state, its like harvested state, it just makes it be one stage less than adult. So it changes it from ready to harvest grass to the final growth stage. So since this is before the final stage, these big clunky tires are doing nothing to the grass. So once I get over here, I'll show you one more feature of the GPS mod. There's this these options which let you shift the course right and left, but these ones below it let you rotate the course. But it's kind of hard to line up, so what you can do is just rotate 90 degrees. If you're lucky enough to have fields that are running on the cardinal direction. There's multiple, north, south, east, and west. Alright, can move this guy over. And I'll get the rest of these fields all fertilized up. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and as always, remember to keep big charging bricks at the end of a power strip. That way you leave room for more traditional plugs. That's all for today. I'll see you in the next episode. Farewell.